All right, Lancaster and Lancaster Connects fans, it is Memorial Day. I hope you're having a wonderful day. We wanted to bring you this show today on Memorial Day to remind you of what the day is about, that it's about remembering our wonderful armed service members who have died and sacrificed to our nation, gave of their time, their service to our nation. That's really why we're having burgers and hot dogs today. And I'm blessed and honored to have one of my little sisters on the show with us today, Kristy Orzechowsky. I kind of joked with her that she could have at least traded up in the ease of name thing, going from Janakovo to Orzechowsky. But such as it is love, and her wonderful husband, Justin, is amazing. But Kristy is here to represent Vet 21, which is an Honor Guard salute organization that's there for service members when they pass and when they're interned and buried, to give them honor as part of their service to our nation. And so rather than have a show about mattresses or charity guests today, we thought, how much of an appropriate guest is it to have Vet 21 on the show today and talk with you about Memorial Day.
Kristy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, this is going to be great. So Jeff knows your story. I don't know a lot about your story. So I'd like to know about your time with the Army, and because you were in the Army, and maybe just talk about your experience there and some of the places you went during your service time with the Army.
Yeah, so I joined in 2006, and I went to, of course, basic training. I saw this video about paratroopers in the 82nd Airborne, and I was like, oh, I need to do that. So I harassed basically my drill sergeant into getting me to go to airborne training. And I completed that and went to my AIT, my job training. And then within 2 weeks of being at Fort Bragg, my duty station, I was deployed to Iraq. So it was a very quick kind of turnover of, I didn't really get much time with my unit. They were already over there. That was amazing and humbling experience to see what a beautiful nation that we live in compared to what's over there. It's just such a drastic change. I was so grateful to have a shower and toilet paper and a cold drink when I got home, and just all these things that I took for granted before. We trained very hard in the 82nd Airborne Division, so it's not a lot of time off. And then a year to the day later, I deployed for a second time to Iraq again. Made it through both deployments pretty all right, and then got home, and we were doing a night training jump, and we got dropped in the trees, and I broke my back. And so in 2013, I was medically discharged. And I loved my time in the Army. I wish I could have stayed in. I would have been in for 24 years if I could have been, but I really enjoyed my 7 years.
Wow. Well, thank you for your service. We could craft a whole show about talking about your time and things you experienced and whatnot. But I just want to know, like, what was that first jump out of a plane like for you? Was that something you looked forward to doing, or you were ready to do?
Absolutely amazing. Like, you can't, the adrenaline rush is just, it's beyond anything you can ever imagine. And the beauty when your parachute opens finally, and you can just see everything. It's just, for me, I love it. You know, some people not so much.
That's so cool. So it's Memorial Day. As a veteran, I'd like to know what Memorial Day means to you.
Memorial Day means to me is just remembering the fallen, and also the veterans that are walking around our state, our nation, unrecognized. I know it is for those who have passed away. Vet 21 has a really great video on I think it's on their website, maybe on their Facebook. And it's basically about this man in a cafe, and he has a tattoo of whatever branch of service he was in. And he's just sitting there very sad. And then a soldier comes in full military uniform, and everybody's like, hey, look. And a kid's like, can I get a picture with you? And And you just see this man kind of brokenhearted because nobody notices him. And then it ends with the soldier dressed in uniform saying, well, that man's a hero over there too. And then the kid goes up and says, can I take a picture with you? And he smiles. So really just those who lost their lives in defense of our great country. And we do have a great country, and I stand on that. And from what I've seen in the service and what I've seen with Vet 21, it's just, we really, really do. And I'm so unbelievably honored to be speaking on behalf of them and for my country.
Yeah, Memorial Day is, for a lot of people, it's like, oh, it's a time for a family vacation. And like Jeff said, burgers and hot dogs and stuff. But often I think it does get lost, the true meaning of Memorial Day. So, thanks for sharing that. I would encourage everybody to go to the Vet 21 website and find that video and watch it, because, I think that's impactful.
Yeah, it really is. Hey, before we get too much in, Kristy, I forget, I know you told me a few times over the years, how many jumps did you make?
57.
57.
Yeah. Sometimes I jumped twice on the same operation just because I loved it so much. Yeah.
So 57 times you jumped out of a perfectly good airplane.
There is no perfectly good airplane. That's what everybody asks me, but there is no perfectly good airplane.
Very good. Very good. So, so you left your service, medically discharged, came, lived a few places around the country, came home to Lancaster, where our family moved when we first moved here from Canada.
Right.
And so Lancaster has become home for you, and you found Vet 21. And so I know you're very passionate about Vet 21, and Vet 21 is who we're here to talk about today on Memorial Day. So give us the high level. What is Vet 21, and what do they do, and how do they serve our veterans and those veterans who have passed?
Vet 21 is such a special group. So an honor guard has to do 3 things to be considered an honor guard, and it's a nonprofit. They have to do the 3 rifle volley, they have to play taps, and they have to present the flag, or fold a flag, and be able to present the flag. And it is just such a beautiful way to, it's mostly for the family, but it also is for the veteran, of course. We shoot over the heart of the veteran. And it's just this great group of, right now, Vietnam veterans, mostly. I'm one of the youngest. There might be another younger person there, but a lot of Vietnam people, veterans. And it's so cool to hear their stories. And I feel like I'm getting a little slice of that camaraderie and the loyalty and the duty and the honor and the selfless service and everything that I got in the Army, that when I got out, I missed so much. I couldn't find that in the civilian world. And then a man from my church, Charlie Souter, who passed away last year, he was a Marine. He kept bugging me. You should do this. You should do this. I was like, nah, I don't really like I don't want to be around rifles anymore. Like, I was just feeling sorry for myself, honestly. And then he suddenly passed away. And I immediately called Mike Lewis and said, hey, like, I need to join. I just felt it in my heart. And so that's how I got into Vet 21 Honor Guard. They were established in 2010. They've grown from 18 members to 38 members. They cover every branch of military services. They're based out of Lancaster County. Our members are from different areas of Pennsylvania, from Hamburg, Annville, Easton, Elizabethtown. We have from all over. We've done honors in Berks, Lebanon, York, Chester, and Dauphin County, and even Maryland, but most are done in Lancaster County. We try not to turn any family down who asks for military honors. We became officially established as a certified honor guard at Indiantown Gap National Cemetery in mid-2012. And the great thing about Vet 21 is they're nonprofit. We're not here for the money. We're here for the thank yous from the families. They come up and it's really hard to watch. They're crying, they're mourning their loss of their loved one, and they come up and they're just like, thank you so much. And that is so much payment enough.
I was going to ask that. So, and I think you really just answered it. Like, why is this work important that Vet 21 does?
Yeah, really for the families and the families, for the veterans, to give them their final resting honor that they deserve.
Yeah. And
this is why I'm here. We need more members. As I said, most of our members are Vietnam vets. I love them all, and I wish they would live forever, but that's not reality. And I hear a lot of great Vietnam stories, not a lot of Iraq, Afghanistan stories. So if you are looking for something to do to fill your time, it's not physically intensive. We drive up basically to the gravesite and just walk across. We go first so that the family can have their private ceremony second. And then right after we're done doing the honors, we leave. Again, so the family can have their private service. And we have veterans with canes that they just kind of drop behind them. They fire, they pick them back up. And it's just a great way to get out there and serve and give back. And again, get some of that camaraderie and some of that military missing stuff that you get when you're not there anymore.
Yeah. We've had a bunch of pictures showing up. It's all, man, what a way to respect those that served, maybe didn't feel appreciated, send them off in such a profound way. So very cool. I mean, I've known you're a part of this. I didn't see all the pictures, which just gives it a whole other context of things. So you said we need volunteers. You're kind of later in our show, we're going to mention a handful of members of Vet 21 that passed in the last year, but we need members. And you said, it's not physically intensive. So if you do have some disabilities, this is something you can absolutely participate in, right?
Absolutely. It doesn't matter what Army, Air Force, Marines. I mean, we still make jokes amongst ourselves as you do in the military of Army's better or military, or, Marines are better.
Right.
It's all in good fun. We don't have any Coast Guard currently, but we would love you. Men and women we need. It doesn't matter your age, as long as you're honorably discharged. You have your DD-214. Just call Mike or go on the website, sign up. Like I said, everything, they have great uniforms, hats, raincoat, winter stuff. They throw a great Christmas party. They throw a great summer picnic. They just really take care of their members. Yeah. We also have membership meetings, I think once every quarter, maybe. And your vote matters. My vote matters, which is really cool on, do we want to wear these pants or do we want to donate to this charity, whatever it may be. And I just find this the most genuine nonprofit I think I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on that note about uniforms and different types of uniforms, and, you may travel a little farther than normal. I think I saw somewhere as we brought the website up, uniforms are provided by Vet 21. Is that right?
That's right. Free of cost.
Yep. And if you need to, you can submit a mileage report and get reimbursed for that as well.
Correct. Yep. They reimburse you for mileage.
Yeah. So really, as an honorably discharged service member with your DD-214, correct? I said that right?
Yep.
So that's the requirements. Honorably discharged, have your paperwork, which every full-fledged former service member is proud to have and show. And we found over the years, as we've done veterans events over the years, like that's the first thing that gets whipped out because they're just conditioned and programmed as like, I'm proud to have this, right?
Yeah.
So you need that, but that's really it. You're donating your time, really,
yes.
is what you're donating. We talk often on the show about that, about asking our folks who watch and who listen and who share this show, it's time, it's talent, and treasure. And so here, where Vet 21 is asking for your time as a former honorably discharged service member to give to others who've been in your shoes, who are just a little further ahead in their journey in life. So we really are making that call here today on the show to get people involved. So if you know a veteran, pass the show along, tag them in, send them to Vet 21 site, reach out to us. We'll make the connection. You were going to say, Kristy.
No, sorry. We've even done a few for honors for veterans that have had no family. And it's just been us and the veteran who's passed away. And those moments are really sombering, but also they have their brothers and sisters around them. They're not alone. And like, there's so much grace and hope, and just thank you for what you did for our country in this. Yeah. And it really gets you out of, if you're depressed, if you're like I said, missing the military, you want to be around other like-minded people. Yes, we need you. We need you. And this needs to continue, because we have to, it's the very least that we can do to honor those who paid the ultimate price for our country, is to give 15, 20 minutes of our time to do this beautiful honor. And not only for them, but for the family. It's great. So the flag is folded, given to the next of kin. And we also give them a very nice black velvet pouch with 3 polished casings, cartridges, empty ones, of course, that stands for loyalty, duty, and country. And that is presented to the family as well.
Yeah, that's great. I know we're going to talk about the flag and the folding of the flag and what that means and why that matters. We had the call for veterans to be part of Vet 21. How about the community? How can the community, the non-military, non-veteran community support Vet 21? What's the need there, and how can they help?
We don't ask for donations. Our biggest payment is our thank you. And I've gotten many cards from families that I've done honors for, and they'll send out cards to everybody who is on that detail. If you see like on a day like today, you can go to any cemetery, and if there's a flag on the ground, maybe pick it up and put it back in, or buy some and just go around and put them around. Display the American flag in your yard. Really what the community can do is just bring attention to the Vet 21 Salute Honor Guard, because this is that important. And I don't know how to say this nicely, but with the Vietnam veterans getting older, and me and maybe another person being in our 40s, if we don't have more volunteers, this will cease to end. And that will be great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Get the word out. Tell anybody you know who's a veteran. Even if you have a full-time job, we can use you like once on a weekend. We just asked you to do 1 honor a month. But even if you can't do that, even if it's 1 honor every 2 months, that's fine. Yeah. We just need you.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, these traditions in our society, we know that sometimes things go away, and sometimes they go away for good reason. This isn't one of those things that should go away. We should certainly honor those that serve our nation, serve it well, and have earned, not deserve, because they earned it. I know Kristy's journey and her time in the military all earned. And whether you were 4 years in and it was just part of your trajectory to college, or 24 years in and it was your career, you've earned this honor. And, we ought to pick it up. And so if you can, do it. And Kristy won't ask for donations, but I will. I'll ask for donations on the behalf of Vet 21. I know they have a donation button on their site. They need it for uniforms. They need it for those pouches that they give. The blanks that they fire off. I'm sure they don't just show up. All of it requires money to continue it to go forward. And so please consider donating today on Memorial Day to them. All that information is right on their site on vet21salute.com. So Kristy, you brought some pretty cool, what I'm going to say, like trivia and great question and answer material. You're like one of the first guests that kind of brought questions with them, which is great. And I think for Memorial Day, it's some wonderful information for people to know, because I think it's become, we're in a mattress store, and it's, become a mattress sales weekend, which, look, we didn't create that. It's what our consumer culture's created. But I think there's this little trivia that we can share, and these answers that you have and these questions that you brought, I think are great because it's going to connect people to the holiday. So we're going to dig into that. So that's all right with you.
I love it. Let's go.
Yeah, I know you've been like Kristy in the pre-show. She's like, it's like she was amping up to jump out of a plane again. She was ready to go.
Ready to go.
So again, just to say it now on the show, we've had it. We'll get it out in case people pick this up on audio. If you want to connect with Vet 21, Mike Lewis leads Vet 21. His phone number is 717-945-2303. That's 717-945-2303. And we go to vet21salute.com to connect with anything you've heard about here on the show. If you want to email, info@vet21salute.com. So we've gone over why Honor Guard is important, to give respect, a final honor as that veteran is laid to rest. I just love it. But you don't do a 21 gun salute at these honors. Why is that?
We do not. And a lot of people, even me in the beginning thought we did a 21 salute, honor salute. But that is reserved for, the 21 gun salute is reserved for the president, a member of a reigning royal family, or head of state. So our details are 3 to 5 people, and 3 shots are shot off. And again, are in honor of honor duty country. And so we try to, it's ready, aim, fire. And we all want to sound like one shot with 5 people or 4 people. So that's what it is. It's called a rifle volley, not a 21 gun salute for what we do for honoring the veterans.
I was curious about that because I didn't know what 3 rifle volley meant. So I'm glad you clarified that.
So again, that's duty, honor, and country.
Yes.
Love it.
What
has it been hard to get the timing down?
A little. Sometimes it depends. Some of the guys wear hearing aids. They're great guys. Okay. I love them all. Shout out to all of them. But sometimes it's a little hard to hear, and sometimes but for the most part, we're on point.
Gotcha.
Yeah. What type of rifle is used?
We use a M1 rifle, which was used in World War II and Korea. They're beautiful rifles. And actually, one of our members, I'm going to get I don't remember his name, which is terrible. He spent the last year doing over, I think, 75 rifles, staining them, sanding them, and our emblems on them with the white strap. I mean, they're just gorgeous. And we do shoot blanks, of course. Yeah. But yeah, they're used in every ceremony, M1.
Yeah.
They're very cool.
Awesome. Just, that somebody who has firearms, I like to hunt and shoot, and that's not news to you, Kristy, and not news to Ben. Just out of curiosity, you said blanks, but I'm assuming there's a protocol that you all have for accepting a firearm. You check it, make sure it's safe, all that stuff.
Yep, they still have safeties on them. It happens. If you do join, just be prepared. It's going to happen to you. Probably it happened to me. The trigger is very sensitive. And so a lot of times after the service is over or the honor is over, we'll be standing there and the guys will try to put the safety on by themselves or right there in line, and it'll go off. And even though they are blank cartridges, they can still do damage up to, I think, 8 or 10 feet. So it was my maybe 4th honor, and I was walking away and I tried to put the safety on and I hit the trigger and boom, and I scared the whole family, and I'm very sorry for that. But ever since then, I've never done it again. So yes, we're very safe with where we point our rifles, and rifle safety is very, very important for sure.
Yeah. So let's talk about taps. Okay. So tell us a little bit about taps and why it's played at military funerals, and how did it come to be? Because there's a pretty cool story behind this.
It really is. The history of taps, if you ever have time to look into it, I would definitely urge you to do so because it's extensive. But taps is such a sad song for me. It's just a somber song. Every time it is played after we shoot, my heart just sinks a little bit. It just really somehow touches your heart in a way that you can't explain. And it's played at military funerals to honor and to pay tribute to the service member who has passed away. It's a haunting melody, but it's a traditional way to signify the end of the day, lights out, and a final farewell to a fallen comrade. The tune, composing of 24 mournful notes, holds deep significance and is performed during patriotic memorial ceremonies and military funerals conducted by United States Armed Forces. So how TAP came to be, Congress designated TAPS as a national official song of remembrance in 2013, the Defense Authorization Act. So, but the story behind TAPS is, that's not my papers here. During battle in the old times, if a soldier knew the name of a fallen soldier, they would call their name out 3 times to honor the fallen soldier. Also, during the European dynastic wars, the fighting would stop. They would shoot 3 times and the fighting would stop, or they would play taps. The fighting would stop so that they could clear the dead and the wounded. And then they would resume battle again. Now, there's much more history to that than what I've just said, but it would take me forever to read all that. But that in itself is just amazing to me. When you're on a military installation in the morning, they play Reveille, which is kind of a more upbeat song. And then at the end of the day, it's taps. So just kind of lights out, the day's over, wind it down.
Yeah.
And if you're a bugler, we could really, really use you. If you know how to play the bugle and taps, we could also use you there too.
Now, would that person need to be a veteran as well, or?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Ben was getting ready to get out the trombone.
I'm not a bugler. Trombone wouldn't work. I am not.
Well, I would imagine that you'd pick it up quickly.
Yeah, right.
It's a brass instrument. It's similar music structure, notation.
Yeah.
Right?
But I'm not a veteran.
That's right. He was ready. He was like, let's go.
I mean, we can try it. Let's see.
Give him a rippet and a bugler or a bugle in his hand and he'll go.
You're good to go.
Did I get that right, Kristy? Rippet, it was the military version of like a Red Bull or a Monster.
Yes, they're amazing.
I remember you telling me about those.
This big, and they pack a punch, and you can go for days on these things. And I didn't drink water. I just drank Rippets. Somehow I'm still alive. I don't know. I don't know what they put in them, but they're good.
Yeah. Let's get into, because there's a 13 answers to this question. But I think it's really important on Memorial Day to share this out, because I never knew this. I knew when a veteran had passed and was buried with honor, they would get a folded flag. There's songs about this. Aaron Lewis has a song about the folded flag. And there's been many more, and I'm sure there'll be more to follow. So why is it folded in a triangle? What is its significance? And then let's talk about all the different reasons for the 13 folds.
All right. I love it. So the American flag is meticulously folded into a triangle shape, emblematic of the hats worn by the soldiers during the Revolutionary War. The folded flag is then presented to the next kin with a solemn vow of gratitude for the veteran's respective military branch. So like Jeff said, there's 13 folds, symbolic passing of the 13 truths, representing the same religious principles upon which the country was founded. Number 1 is life. This first fold represents life. It symbolizes the beginning of our journey and the hope for a bright future. The second one is eternal life. The second fold signifies our belief in eternal life. It reflects our spiritual faith and the continuity beyond the earth's existence. The third fold remembers a veteran who served our country. It pays tribute to their sacrifice and dedication to defending peace worldwide. The fourth fold is trust in God. The fourth fold represents our reliance on God. As citizens, we turn to Him in both peaceful and wartime moments, seeking divine guidance. The fifth fold is a tribute to our nation. It echoes Stephen Decanter's words, "Our country in dealing with other countries, may she always be right, but it is still our country, right or wrong." The sixth is allegiance. Symbolizes our allegiance to the United States with our hearts. We pledge to uphold the principles of liberty and justice. The seventh fold honors our armed forces. Through their service, they protected our country and its flag against all enemies. The eighth fold, Valley of the Shadow of Death. The eightfold commemorates those who face death for our freedom. It also honors mothers as the flag flies on Mother's Day. 9, womanhood. The ninth fold pays tribute to womanhood. Their faith, love, loyalty, and devotion have shaped the character of those who made our country great. Fatherhood. The 10th fold acknowledges fathers who have given their sons and daughters for our defense since their birth. 11, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 11th fold represents the lower portion of the seal of King David and King Solomon. It glorifies the God of our ancestors. The 12th fold, in the eyes of a Hebrew citizen, signifies the emblem of eternity and glorifies God. And the 13th fold completes the triangle, emphasizing the unity of the original 13 colonies and our shared heritage. So, pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, really neat.
During those, Chris had some pictures going there. Is the flag folded on site during the honor of a veteran at a cemetery?
Yes. Typically, we work with Red Rose. They are in full dress military uniform. They look very dapper and wonderful and great. They will fold the flag. They're very good at it and present it to the family. If they are unable to be there, we will fold the flag and hand it to the family. So it's kind of a two-part organization coming together. We do the rifle volley typically, and they do the folding of the flag.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's very cool. I mean, as you were reading that, there was just audibly a chill and a moment of somberness in and of itself as you're reading it. And so maybe you heard that on your end, out there listening, out there watching. It's so powerful to know all of those different things now and to have them here on our show and you to share it. You did really good. Like if you were in 8th grade or you got an A on this paper and this project.
Thank you so much.
You did very good.
You know, we were born in Canada. I got my citizenship in the military, and I love my country. And I hate what I'm seeing right now, but, you know, we have to continue to press forward and love our nation. Because I've been to Iraq. I've seen what not having freedom looks like. And it's not good.
No,
we have it so good here. And so I would say be thankful for what you have, a cold drink, a nice shower, a couch. I mean, it's just amazing. Once you see that, you can't unsee it. And then you want to bring that forward to the people of America to say just how lucky you are to be able to walk on the street, say what you want to say, and do what you want to do. So,
yeah, it really does put things into perspective.
Yeah, I mean, largely our worst day here, and this isn't to minimize somebody who just found out devastating news about their children or, you know, but largely our worst day here would be a day people in a vast majority of our world would be grateful for.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So your Starbucks took too long. You get to be in a drive-through line in an air-conditioned car that's probably really nice, waiting, have money in your pocket, to spend on coffee. And that money you spend on coffee is what some people make in a week.
Exactly.
And so there's an awful lot we get to do here and that we get to have. And we need to remember that for sure. And there's people that have sacrificed, so we get all of it. And thank you for being one of those people.
Well, thank you for your support.
Yeah.
Kristy, so it's Memorial Day, and there's also Veterans Day later in the year in November, and I think the average person might not know the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day. Can you talk a little bit about that? Obviously, we've been talking about Memorial Day, but what is the difference, and why do both holidays exist?
So Memorial Day is an American holiday observed on the last Monday of May. It honors the men and women who have died while serving in the U.S. military, originally known as Decoration Day. It originated in the years following the Civil War and became an official federal holiday in 1971. Many Americans observe Memorial Day by visiting cemeteries or memorials, holding family gatherings, and participating in parades. Unofficially, it also marks the beginning of the summer season. Maybe you didn't know that either. So Memorial Day, a lot of people say Happy Memorial Day. I think it's just Memorial Day. It's a time to remember all those who gave their life for our country, whether they died in combat or not. Like Jeff said, it doesn't matter. I was deployed twice, and I'm not saying I'm anything special, but those were 2 hard years. And yeah, it's just sad when I look at these pictures of the tombstones at Arlington or at Fort Indiantown Gap, all lined up, and you just look and it's like, wow, so many gave their lives. Yeah. So I would say there's so many parades and functions on Memorial Day to celebrate. Go out, show your support. I forgot to mention that's another thing Vet 21 does. Every third week, we are up at Fort Indiantown Gap National Cemetery doing honors for a week, and then we switch off with other National Reserve units.
Wonderful. Yeah.
And then Veterans Day is appreciating those who are still alive. And yeah, if you see a Vietnam vet with a hat on, and just shake his hand or hers, just say thank you. Ask them a question. They are so full of knowledge. They have so many stories. It's amazing what they went through. The equipment they had then is not anything what we have now. And the polarization of then and now is crazy what they went through. So.
Yeah. It goes a long way when you see somebody with a Seabees hat on, or an Army hat, or a Marines hat. I say Seabees. There was an older gentleman at the bowling alley where my son essentially grew up as a bowler, and he was a mentor to Ethan, and he was in the Seabees. And, I asked them numerous times to tell me stories about that. And they were engineers who built things over water and bridges and temporary structures. And he was just always so much fun to listen to. And it just goes a long way. There's a saying in life, be interested in others, and
That's right.
You'll be pretty surprised at what you learn. And just be interested and say thank you. Thank you for your service. You see a tattoo, often you'll see them on the forearms. Just be grateful for their service, because it does mean something. It really, really does. So thank you for that. And, the other part in this where you said, referencing the original 13 colonies in folding the flag, in between Memorial Day and Veterans Day, we have July 4th, which is the celebration of the birth of our nation, which goes back to the 13 colonies, right? So
right.
I just love how it kind of all ties together and brings it all about. But listen, as we approach the top of our hour, another little known thing about Memorial Day, right, is that our nation has a moment of remembrance at 3:00 on Memorial Day. So I think this kind of worked out almost perfectly, where we'll be able to kind of time it and have that moment of remembrance with you, our audience listening and watching today, checking out Lancaster Connects, hearing all about the great work that Kristy and her other wonderful veterans are doing at Vet 21 to honor those that have served and passed either in combat or have passed while being discharged. Just love everything you're doing at Vet 21. It's really, really great to honor those veterans. And so there's a few Vet 21 members that we want to honor here by announcing them on the show. They passed in the last year. So we'll do that. And then we'll just have a 30-second moment of remembrance and we'll wrap up the show. But before we go, I want everybody to hear again how they get a hold of you. So, Kristy, you want to share where people can go to connect with Vet 21?
You can go to vet21salute.com or just call Mike Lewis at 717-945-2303. Or you can go to Vet 21 Facebook page, Salute Honor Guard Facebook page. And thank you so much. Please get the word out. Tell everybody. And thank you for having me. Thank you for Lancaster Connects for caring about veterans, caring about our country. And just thank you. It's an honor to be here. And thank you to all my Vet 21 members.
Well, Kristy, it was an honor to have you on the show, really. I mean,
thank you.
It's been great to have you on here.
Yeah. Thank you for your time and your service. And of course, I love you. I never say that to any other guest, but I love my little sister.
I love you too.
Yeah. So with that said, we'll shift into this moment of remembrance here as we approach the top of the hour. So Kristy, we'll let you read those names off and then we'll just have that moment and we'll wrap up the show. We'll see everybody else then next time on Lancaster Connects, but Kristy, we'll turn it over to you.
Okay. Edwin Jones, Army. Elam Foss, Army. Jim Chesney, Army. Charlie Souter, Marines. Walter Hand, Marines. Jim Smoker, Army. Jack Rhodes, Navy. Pat Houston, Marines. Steve Zink, Army.